Does anyone have a tissue? Well, wow, this is such an amazing honor. Whew. All right, coming together. All right. I didn't think I was gonna cry. This is crazy. Wow. First and foremost, I want to thank Bonnie. You have been an amazing person. Over the past 3 weeks that I've gotten to know you, you have been so warm, loving, and just an amazing person. And it's been a pleasure getting to know you. And unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to meet your husband, but I've learned and read about how caring and giving he was. And just by knowing you, his presence, it lives on through you. I'd like to thank God. Without him, I wouldn't be here. And I'd just like to thank him first and foremost. Looking at that award makes me think about my time here at Stanton. I had a lot of good times here. I had a lot of fun looking out on to all of the classmates that I have that are going to be graduating with me tomorrow. But it makes me also think about the hard times that I had at Stanton, the times that, we stayed busy. We stayed running from one thing to the next, from ADR to trial team practice to office hours inside the library to being a teaching assistant for some 1L class or some upper level class, to running to internships, to work, to all of that. And it makes me think about what it took to get through those times. For me, it took passion. I absolutely loved coming to class here every day. I love seeing my classmates, and I love seeing my professors and faculty. But not only did it take a passion, it also took good people surrounding me. And I've been blessed to say that I've been surrounded with good people. And so with that, I would like to take just a few moments just to thank a few of those people who helped me get here today. First, I'd like to thank Dan and Chelsea. I have, I can't find them out there. There's Chelsea, and there's Dan right next to her. I have, they are two of my colleagues here who have just heard most of my complaints. And I thank both of you for putting up with me and allowing me to come to you and to complain when times got hard. Now I'll say there have been two people who have heard most of my complaints, because there's someone who heard all of them. And that's Crystal. She told me not to mention her in this speech, but I couldn't sit down without thanking her for just being there for me. When times got tough, she was always there to give me some encouraging words. And I thank you for that. And now I'd like to go on to thank a few of the professors and faculty members. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Professor Varelli. Section two from our 1L year was lucky enough to have him back to back for civil procedure and for con law. And then I couldn't get enough of him, so I took him again for admin law. And I would have continued taking him, but he decided to get away from us for a year and do some work. But Professor Varelli has always been there for me. I remember one time I took a contracts midterm, and it didn't even count for a grade. But I got that midterm back, and it had so much red ink on it, so much. And I, to be honest, I was ashamed of what I did. And of course, I could go to my contracts professor, but the first professor I went to was Professor Varelli. And he told me that everything would be all right. And I thank you for that, and it kind of was. Next, I'd like to thank Professor Bauer. I had the opportunity to have him for property for 1L class. And I'll never forget, at the end of that 1L class, he told our class something. And just to paint a little picture, this was at a time when a lot of students were suing law schools and about lying and some other things, and firms weren't hiring, and the job prospects were bleak. But Professor Bauer, at the end of that property year, he told our class that we made the right decision coming to law school. And that stayed with me then and stayed with me now. And I thank you for that, Professor Bauer. I'd like to thank Professor Picard. I don't see her, but I had her for my first class here at Stanton, Research and Writing 1, and I just enjoyed her so much that I TA'd for her for the next 2 years. And she put up with me every day almost. But what I remember the most are those conversations that we had in her office, and she was always so honest and straightforward with me. And I appreciate her for that. And the next person I'd like to thank is Professor Rose. Speaking about being honest and straightforward, I've spent plenty of times in Professor Rose's office, and he is the most honest and most straightforward person I know. And I thank him for that. I mean, you all saw me shed some tears up here on stage, but I've shed plenty of tears in his office. He's an intimidating man, but he's also very compassionate, very compassionate. And he's helped me get through some very rough times here at Stanton, and I appreciate you for that, Professor Rose. I also want to thank Professor Joyner. We had a great time getting to know each other, at least I did, this year. And you spent a lot of time with me, a lot of late nights here in various courtrooms here on campus. And I had the pleasure for being a teaching assistant for you as well this year. And we had some fun. And in our last month here, well, we messed around and won us a national. Professor Joyner, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you so much. I've also got to thank Erica Wilson. I don't know where she's at. Look, oh, there she is. I've spent plenty of time going from Professor Rose's office to Erica's office. After hearing some things that were very straightforward and honest, I would go in there and she would make everything all better. And not only was she there as a good friend, but she was there as a tutor. She helped me learn so much throughout my time here at Stanton. I remember coming in and I was confused about some evidence. I think it was 804. And you pulled out the whiteboard and wrote down the elements of 804. You made it so clear that I felt stupid for not understanding it in the first place. Erica Wilson, thank you so much. You've been an amazing friend and an amazing mentor. Thank you. And finally, I just want to thank each of my colleagues who will be walking across the stage with me tomorrow. Each and every one of you helped me to become the man I am today, to stand up here. And I hope that I have helped each and every one of you. I'll leave you with just a little well-wishing for your future careers. May your good days outnumber your bad days. May your laughs outnumber your cries, unless it's cries of joy. And may you smile more times than you frown. So thank you all for this amazing award. And I don't know how you end this. Thank you.